You want to grow the most amount of food in the least amount of space. I have a top 5 list of produce based on yield per square foot. At number 5, we have lettuce. Lettuce has a lot of benefits. For example, it can be grown in a short period of time, as short as 6 weeks. The roots don't grow that long, so you can put them in smaller containers, which allows for portability, which makes it an excellent candidate to grow inside as well. Also, lettuce does not need a lot of light, and it can grow quite well in the shade. I've tried 2 different types of lettuce. One is romaine and the other one is leaf lettuce. While the romaine lettuce has a nice crisp leaf, which I like quite a bit, the leaf lettuce has a much higher yield, and in fact, I found that the yield was about 100% higher for leaf lettuce. Number 4, we have Swiss chard. This is definitely the most underrated on my list. What I love about Swiss chard is it works well with the elements, and what I mean by that is it can handle a lot of sun, it can handle a small amount of shade, it can handle a lot of heat, and it can handle cold temperatures as well. Swiss chard is also very versatile in terms of cooking. You can use the stalks to make grilled vegetables, put in a stir fry. The leaves can be cut up into pieces. It tastes a lot like spinach. If you give the proper amount of space to Swiss chard, I promise you, you will have consistent salad through parts of the spring, all through the summer, and part of the fall. So number 3, we have zucchini. Zucchini would be higher on this list, but there's a reason for that. It needs a lot of space. A few years ago, I tried to grow it in a grow bag, and while it did produce some fruit, it did not produce a lot. When I moved it to the larger 4x4 bed and put it in the proper 2x2 space, it thrived. One recommendation I do have with zucchini is that you grow at least 2 plants at the same time. And the reason for that is the bees and other insects need to pollinate the zucchini. They need to go from the male flower to the female fruit. And if you have more plants growing, that's more likely to happen. At number 2, we have cucumber. And in terms of cucumber, I'm not talking about your standard cucumber. I'm talking about self-pollinating cucumber. The reason I have self-pollinating cucumber is there's a couple of reasons. I grow it in the greenhouse, and similar to the zucchini, the bees and insects need to pollinate a standard type of cucumber, which is unlikely to happen in the greenhouse. The other thing is I love the fact that because it is self-pollinating, it just produces fruit. This means the yield is significantly higher than a standard cucumber. When you're growing cucumber, you definitely want to grow it upwards rather than just leave it going all over the ground, or the yield will not be nearly as good. And finally, we come to number 1, tomatoes. And I'm not talking about cherry tomatoes. I'm talking about medium-sized tomato that grows 3 to 4 feet in height. That's the type that I use. The type is actually called a Scotia tomato. If you give it the proper nutrients, water it, give it the sunlight it needs, it will thrive. And in fact, you can produce over 50 tomatoes on a plant. That's my expectation with my plants. So there you have it. Tomatoes is definitely at the top of my list. If you like this list, feel free to like, subscribe, and if you're interested in learning more about how I'm able to grow those same tomatoes indoors, click on the link below. And until then, have a healthy harvest.